about organization, Muslim institutions struggling with finances. So now the question
Resources.
comes, or resources. Yeah. But within that resources also a financial element. It's a
That's
very
the main
strong
one. It's the main
element.
one. Yeah,
yes.
It's the main one.
Now, given the circumstances we're in, second lockdown. Now again, if we look at masajids, mostly closed. If we look at a lot of our institutions are unfortunately not at the moment effectively working as it's supposed to be, as it post-lockdown or pre-lockdown, in fact. Now, which means the donation is very, very restricted. Our donation anyway wasn't great when we were before the COVID incident, but post-COVID, it's still significantly impacted our donation. Now, what advice would you have? Because other companies, organizations are very innovative in their approach.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll tell you what I've done with my local masjid, right? So I've been covering my local masjid for the last couple of months, right? And I anticipated a lockdown in the autumn.
You mean the second lockdown?
Yeah, the second lockdown.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, we should have all anticipated it because it was mentioned in the summer.
Correct.
Right? They mentioned it, but when the first lockdown happened,
there were hints everywhere.
Yeah, they said there's most likely going to be a spike in autumn, and we're going to have to deal with that. How are they going to deal with it? There's going to be a lockdown, right?
Correct.
Could have anticipated it, and all organizations should have been planning for it, right? So what we did in our masjid is I basically said to everybody, look, and the first lockdown had already brought the masjid to its needs. The masjid was in a comfortable position, but then because of the lockdown, no donations on Fridays. It was dependent on donations. And masjid ended up struggling to cover its expenses. So I said, look, we have X number of standing orders so far in the masjid, coming into the masjid right now. We need to double it. We need to get to a position where just through the monthly standing orders, the masjid's basic needs are being fulfilled.
Give me an example. What's the basic need?
So basic needs are like, in the case of my local masjid, it's rented accommodation.
Okay.
So rent is a factor, and the rent had gone up.
Okay.
Right. And then you've got salaries, the imams, the muaddin, etc. Then you've got your bills and your utilities and so on. Right. And that's without thinking about maintenance and if the carpet needs to be renewed. I know in masjids they separately fundraise for those things.
Correct.
But those basic needs that are there, your fixed costs, right? For those kind of things, every masjid should really be taking care of those things because there's fixed income, and that fixed income should come from standing orders. I donate to my local masjid through standing order because I might turn up on Friday and forget my wallet, which I often do. On Friday, you have your shower and everything, you get ready, and you put on your fresh thobe, right, and you just walk out with your keys.
Correct.
Right? Often happens. So I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to leave this to chance. The masjid contribution is going to go direct from my bank so that it's never missed. Also, why? Because this isn't a charity. I am a service user. I use the masjid. Why should I be using the masjid for free when it costs money for the masjid to run? Right? And there's volunteers working to keep the masjid running. You're a service user. It shouldn't be just the pound on Friday with the attitude that I'm doing the masjid a favor. You've got to pay for the service that you're using. Right? So, simple message. Whichever masjid you use, your local masjid, whichever masjid you frequent, whether it's your local masjid or the masjid that you regularly go to because that's where you go because of work.
Okay.
Right? If they rely on donations, then make your donation to the masjid fixed so that in all eventualities the donation goes through. And you're not going to miss £5 a month, £10 a month, £15 a month. Come on. Right? And when you go through all of your standing orders and look at which one to cancel, you'll cancel Netflix, you might cancel some other, donation to a charity, etc.
Restaurant bills itself are more than 200.
You'll cancel all of that. You will not cancel the £15, the £10, the £5 to the masjid. You won't. Once you set it up, it will keep going.
Correct.
Right? So that's what people have to do. And even if your masjid hasn't asked for it, contact the secretary, contact the chairman, contact the masjid if they don't have an online form. Right, and set up a standing order.
Or the account details might also be there on the website.
Yeah, just set it up yourself.
And also, I'd like to add when he said,
don't even wait for them to ask you because I'm telling you they're struggling.
Now, true, but also we have to also be innovative. Now, masajid can have contactless option. I understand on Friday we might not have our wallets with us, card with us, but surely majority of us have our mobile phones with us. Yeah. So even these kind of small,
but
changes.
Very few masajid have that, and masajid haven't been able to respond fast enough. You got to remember
the technology.
Yeah, because you got to remember, like, you have the big masjids, you know, and they have the resources and the staff to be able to quickly do it. Smaller masjids, you know, 200, 300, 500 capacity, they're being run by volunteers, and sometimes they don't even know, they might not know how to set these things up, and some young person goes and gives them the idea, but by the time they respond, the next lockdown is here.
Correct.
So we have to be conscious of the realities on the ground, and the realities on the ground is, yes, we have all these solutions, but not those solutions. In order for those to be implemented, it requires support. It doesn't just require somebody to go and suggest it to them, but to say, "Uncle, I'll do it for you. Let me help you set this up." Right? I'll make the calls. I'll make the inquiries. You just give me permission. You understand? So you got to get involved in that way.